Linda Carter says it still feels like home, the empty house on 5 acres in rural Indiana that she, as a widow, has had to abandon because she can no longer afford the monthly payments and upkeep.
I notified the bank, and they've actually been no help at all. I sent them a letter in June of '08 and told them that the struggle I was having and why I was having it, and that I was no longer going to be able to make the payments, and did not hear anything from them. I called them every time I tried to get through to they sent me a letter saying the Help for Home project or department or whatever, and every time I would try to call them, they would bounce me back to customer service because they kept saying I was not late on my payments. So I did not make any payments after the May payment. And finally in July, I was able to get through to the foreclosure department. They transferred me to the consumer counseling that works with them, and we went over my expenses and went over my income and my health and the fact that I'm going to be retiring soon. And the counselor basically told me that she thought I should walk away. I sent another letter to the mortgage company, and after I had missed a couple payments, and told them, you know, that I was going to be moving out, that I couldn't afford to keep the house. I rented a part of a house nearby so that I could try to keep an eye on my property and make sure it didn't get vandalized and all. I'm paying about $750 a month in rent, which counts most of my utilities. I was paying $1,223 in mortgage payments plus all of my utilities and all of my upkeep. Well, there's not really any peace of mind because I don't know what the mortgage company's going to do. I mean, monthly, yes, I can make it now, but I keep waiting for the other shoe to fall. I don't know when they're going to sell the house, what they're going to sue me for, get a judgment against me, whether they're going to try and garnish my wages. I just don't know what they're going to do. So that's still hanging over my head and very much a big worry.
The Mortgage Bankers Association urges people not to default on their mortgages.
It really is putting a stain on these borrowers' credit. It's going to impact them for a number of years to come in trying to buy another home, to try to rent something. It could have an effect if an employer owns a gets a credit report on their employment. So there are really some long-term consequences to this. Not to also remember that a number of states, when a borrower just walks away, the lender, in fact, can come back and will come back to that borrower to try to collect a deficiency. So it's something that borrowers really need to understand what the long-term, wide-ranging results and consequences could be of just abandoning their properties. It's not immoral, it's just a bad judgment. It's a very bad judgment on the part of individuals and not to live up to their agreements, but more importantly, not to understand how it's going to affect their lives and the lives of their family over the coming years. That's the most important issue that they really need to consider.